You're listening to Around Comics. 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 Comics.
You are listening to Around Comics. You're also watching Around Comics on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, everywhere that we can possibly put our faces.
TikTok.
I'm Brian Salazar. With me, as always, Christopher Niesman and Tom Caters. This is Around Comics, episode 418, Trade Talks.
This is our trade talk.
This is our trade talk.
This is it.
This
is it.
is the trade talk.
The trade talk. What's happening, fellas? Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, it is. It's still, my God, it's still cold up here.
It's still winter, baby.
Sucks, man. It sucks.
Never ending. Never
ends.
Never ending winter.
Yeah, terrible. But no, other than that, all good. My wife left me and went to Ireland without me.
What?
Yeah.
She went to Ireland without
Northern
you?
Ireland, even.
Good for her.
She's, yeah, right.
Did she
That's
join
what
the IRA? What's going
No,
on?
her best friend from high school. He and his partner live in Donaghadee, which is about 40 minutes east of Belfast. So she's just running around Northern Ireland.
The IRA was one that needed to recruit someone who could deal with the psychological torture
Of living with me
and
for almost
living
20
with
years.
Chris was
Her
like
mind
this person
is
is
bulletproof.
there's nothing.
Yeah.
we can
Cannot.
do.
She will
Tom
not
had,
break.
Tom had like one night a week for 6 years, and it broke him.
Yeah.
He had to
I've
move
never
to Worcester.
recovered.
Never,
Never recovered.
never been the same ever since.
Never been the same.
Yeah, I
Yeah, so I'm
understand.
Yeah, so I'm
I
back.
was with him 5 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
twice on Fridays.
Yeah. Yeah. He got to live
Jesus
a
Christ.
professional life with me. That's a strong man you're looking at there.
What's Chris like in a professional setting?
He's pretty similar to what he's like in a non-professional setting.
Yeah.
honestly.
Okay.
Not much different. I mean, he can,
right.
he can be a pain in the ass.
Mhm.
He can, have fun. He can, he's pretty similar.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's much different, honestly.
Yeah. I'm an art director,
Okay,
dude.
cool.
Yeah. It's art directors are like that. We're cool. We're hip.
Good.
We're cool. The kids.
We're
kids
down with the
love it,
lingo.
Yeah.
I'm
Down.
dabbing on people left and right. Oh.
Are you? Hey, kids. Hey, hey, fellow teenagers.
Hey,
Hey, fellow kids.
So what's your
fellow
major?
teens.
I have my cousin who is we're 2 weeks separated by birth. We grew up basically like brothers. He decided at the age of like 49 years old to go back to college and finish up his degree, which I applauded him doing, but I'm like, man, that is going to be an interesting experience for his ex-military hillbilly 50-year-old to be hanging out with a bunch of
Did you
woke-
watch the Rodney Dangerfield
No.
movie? Just as a thumbs
yeah,
up?
no, he's
He asked him if he can do a triple Lindy.
no, yeah, right. Back to school, baby.
Oh, and Wayne chimed in. It's not Justice Chris, it's Tactical Chris.
Tactical Chris.
Tactical Chris.
I had
Um,
all sorts of comic books. I went to the comic book store and bought comic
Whoa.
books, and I had
Wow.
real physical comic books to talk about tonight. And then Tom texts us both, and is like, "Hey, we're doing trade talks tonight, aren't we?"
Yeah, and I'm
I
like,
was just
yep,
making
planning on
sure. You
it.
could have said no, and I would have
No,
been
it
like,
was
okay,
fine.
cool.
I deserved it. But I had lots of look at all these comic books I had lots.
We might have time to talk about it. We might have time to talk about it.
We'll talk a few. Like Rogues was really good. I really liked with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Last Ronin series wrapped up. It was pretty cool. That's right here. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, show it to me, Chris. I don't believe it until you show me there.
If you could say it.
There you go. The ghost
Drives.
in you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not all the way through, but it's awesome. I'll leave it right there.
When I bought this at when I bought the hardcover Reckless book, The Ghosts in You by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, the comic store guy was like, "Do you read their stuff? Have you read their stuff before?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've checked it out.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big fan of those guys."
Yeah. You didn't want to say, yeah, I've actually engaged in illicit behavior with Ed Brubaker.
I did not bring that up. I did not mention that fact. This time, next time if he says it again, then the stories are coming out.
Let me tell you about C.O. Salazar.
Let me explain something, kid.
Oh, have I?
Oh, yeah. I have. Oh, Brubaker, you say? That's an interesting name.
Interesting.
I know a guy named Brubaker, Ed Brubaker, in fact.
Let me look through my Rolodex. All right, we have a book to talk about, and it was Sal's pick.
It was.
Feels like Sal's had like the last 5 picks.
Oh, come on, that's not true.
Who cares?
I had one pick, and then Tom's pick.
Is it my pick this week?
No, it's my pick.
Okay, good.
Because you did Star Wars?
Yeah,
Bounty Hunters.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah,
we're talking about Once and Future, Volume 1. The King is Undead by Kieron Gillen and Dan Mora and Tamara Bonvillain. Can I just say I've become a gigantic Dan Mora fan. I'm a big fan of his work.
Let me just I'll jump in and say I love every cover of this series just from a design and like trade dress perspective. I mean, I imagine going into the comic book store and it's like you can spot the new issue from from a click away. I mean, they're just striking. They're striking, and they're designed well. Yeah, and Mora is great. Even going back to like his Buffy days, he was a great artist on Buffy.
Buffy. Buffy. Muffy.
The Vampire Slayer. Which we have a Vampire Slayer in this one.
We do. She's a bit older.
Yeah.
She might be. Is her name Buffy? It could be Buffy.
She ran out of vampires.
Did she ever? She did. That was a great line. She's a. Well, let's just. I guess I'll kind of give everybody, the listeners, if you haven't read this, it's basically the story of this crazy old woman that lives in bloody old England. And she's in like a retirement home, and she hears on the news that some archaeologist was murdered and a old ancient sword scabbard was taken from the site, and it was the only thing, and it sort of perks her interest up, and she runs
bugger.
Yeah.
Oh bugger.
But we get a feeling she's not your ordinary grandma, because right off the bat she threatens to break another guy's fingers, another old dude's fingers, if he changes the TV station. And then we meet her grandson, a nice chap, a very nice young man named Duncan, and he goes to help find out why she's why she's run away from the home, and it turns into this sort of fantasy story about how she has a history that he never knew about, where she was a monster hunter. She killed all the vampires. And that was the line we were talking about. She's like, I used to hunt vampires. And he's like, used to? She's like, well, I ran out of vampires, which is a great line.
It was a great line.
Yeah. And then we find out that, she's concerned because she believes that there are people in the world that are trying to bring back King Arthur, and that is not a good thing. This isn't sort of the King Arthur from fantasy tales necessarily.
Right,
More,
it's not Sean Connery on a horse.
yeah. What was the Sword in the Stone? Right, that was the Disney cartoon. It's not that. It's not that. Round Table. It seems a little bit darker, and so her and Duncan go off and try and stop this from happening, but they're kind of late to the game, and then I'm not going to give the whole story away, but yeah, so it's King Arthur's come back from the dead, and
he's a bad guy,
and he's a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's kind of a pure blood kind of guy. He starts slaughtering people.
Yeah, when white British people are not white enough for you.
Yeah, when Anglo-Saxons are not white enough.
Those are invaders.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's fantasy but modern tale, and you got a badass grandma, and Duncan finds out more about his family history, and all sorts of things come to light. But to me, it was a very I mean, once again, the art wise, I think it's gorgeous. Like every page, every panel is just absolutely gorgeous. And I love it because it's not, I mean, as good of an artist as he is, he also makes really good choices. Like he serves the story extremely well and doesn't sort of indulge in things, even though he's unbelievably talented. He doesn't like indulge in frivolous art just to show off. Everything is for the story, and it makes it a very good read in that way. And then you sort of combine that with Kieron Gillen's writing, and yeah, I thought it was an excellent modern fairy tale kind of thing, and a little bit of a deconstruction of the King Arthur mythos. I loved how she kind of sprinkled in tidbits of like a reality check to some degree on what the real story was, or what, but I also loved, like, there's this element to this about like how fiction is sort of crosses over into reality. And then she kept referencing that, like, the story, the closer you are to a story, the more real it becomes. And that's a big part of the book. And I thought that was a really cool kind of, I've often, like, just sort of thought about that kind of a thing of like stories that deal with, is fiction, where does fiction come from, or where does it, sort of tie into the greater universe sort of thing. I always found that to be a fascinating thing, but whenever I started sort of thinking about it in a story aspect, it always kind of unraveled a bit. Like it never, because it's like
you could never find the center that holds that plot together.
Yeah. And
that's what Gaiman is so fucking good at. He just
right.
Yeah,
he's ridiculously good at making the fantasy seem real and connect to reality, but also like, but he does it in such a great way where he
it's very elegant how he does it.
It's super elegant,
right?
But it also feels like he's making the regular world more magical. You know what I mean? Like, instead of making the magical world more real, he makes the real world more magical. And I think that's a distinction, because I think a lot of writers, especially in the last 15 years, have done the opposite, where they, it's like deconstructing fantasy or sci-fi or whatever kind of thing. It's like, but it makes it more mundane. It takes the fantasy and tries to sort of explain it. And that's, to me, that's like a fanboy kind of thing to do, where Gaiman and I think Kieron Gillen, it's like, no, let's take the real world and make it a little more interesting by sprinkling in that fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, that was Phonogram, which is, I mean, the first thing I think that he published, he and Jamie McKelvey, and we were big. It's still my favorite work of his. I can go back and, either just thumb through it, because McKelvey was so unique at that time in his art. And yeah, It's Kieron is good at, you know, making you think that there's something otherworldly that could be right around the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this story does that pretty well. It's about family to a certain degree, and you know, the secrets that family keeps, and dragons and swords and undead knights and all sorts of cool shit like
The
that.
hell was that snake monster thing?
The quest beast, the questing beast.
Well, that's kind of on what you were talking about, the kind of merging of fiction and reality. And I don't know if it was a cast off line to get to her being a hunter, or if there was like some truth to it where she's like, no, don't run after it, because then that will become your obsession.
Yeah, no, I think that was a part of it, of like, yeah, if you start, you know, if you
Chasing
chase
every
after
monster,
that, yeah, it never ends. It just becomes like, that's what the questing beast does. And it's like, why did
I need you on this quest?
Yeah. Well, that was it. It's like, why is it showing up now? It's like, well, because you're on a quest, and that's when it shows up, you know,
at the worst time,
worst
possible time.
I enjoyed the book. There's elements. There's also sort of like the interesting thing of like, you know, these white supremacists are essentially trying to bring back King Arthur, and you know, the idea of like, you yourself, you know, you might not be considered the preferred ethnicity of this person that you're holding up, right? Like, it's like, actually, no, he would also kill you. He doesn't want you here either. He doesn't want you here either. So, you know, I think
really selective. He's very
selective. Yeah, like he's not interested in like what you're into.
It's kind of like a MAGA guy pulling up to Mar-a-Lago in a pickup truck, and they're like, "Hey," and they're like, "Yeah, no, sorry."
But the one, a little bit of a criticism I would have for it though is like, I had a hard time getting into it at times. Like, I love the idea of it. I love the art, and at its best moments is when there is crazy stuff happening, like there's a questing beast, or there's this, or there's that. But sometimes, and I must have been hard reading it in single issue sometimes. Sometimes there's a lot of talking about things that, like,
you got to have a British history degree to understand.
No, but it's like, you, character I've just met, here's your secret past. And it's sort of like, well, okay, I just met this guy, you know, like
I described it as being kind of a flash fried story. It moved.
Yeah, it goes so fast.
It moved like a Netflix television show.
Right. It's like Duncan is kind of like a fumbling,
I'm like, wait a second,
type in issue 1, and like 2 issues later, he's you know, cleaving a zombie.
No, the Netflix thing is a very apt comparison, where it's sort of like, oh, wait a second, like, this guy who I've just literally barely know anything about is like, actually, no, you're this. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, you could have just started with that. You didn't need to have the part before. You know, like, there's just moments like that sometimes where I was kind of like, I wish we would get back to like the monsters, or like the, you know, less talking in a room, less this grandma explaining something to the grandson that has no emotional weight to me as the reader, because like, I don't know this character. Like, I'm like,
well,
okay,
you know,
like,
it's you gotta, you know, we're just too old.
Yeah, move it.
You gotta
but
move
do it.
The kids these
do
days,
it
they don't
while
have time.
you're fighting something. You can do it while you're fighting something. You don't have to be in a room doing
all
it.
Fighting, all
fighting, all the time.
Fighting.
Joe Gluzik has a really good comparison. I was trying to come up with something, and it's like, it's a little bit better than like a sci-fi original. But Joe said it's like Grimm, the TV series. If you ever watched Grimm.
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah,
it's kind of about that, you know, that kind of fun, weird monster of the week kind of fare. I mean, this is not Watchmen, and that's okay. you know.
And that's
yeah. I mean,
okay.
I'm gonna read the next one because I'm like, okay, maybe once we sort of establish everything, it kind of picks up again. There's just moments where I was like, oh man, I wish we weren't doing this right now.
I wish we were just
Like,
fighting.
I wish like maybe we'd I don't know, be doing something cooler while I hear this exposition. Yeah, like I think we're in a room. We've been in this room for a lot of pages. There's like a lot of people talking. But yeah, I mean, it's a great concept, and it's like the art's beautiful, and you know, when it is the pace, when there is action, and I kind of feel. I mean, I think part of it too is I like Dan Mora's art, right? And there's times where I'm like,
give this guy something better to draw.
More dynamic
Yeah,
to do, like while we're explaining the plot is like, let's just not have them in a room like talking to each other.
I want to
like,
see more skeleton knights.
I mean, maybe he's trying to save Dan Mora from like arm falling off or something, but yeah, like those are my only major criticisms. Is like I could have seen myself.
For the video folks, it's like, oh, that's gonna be way too bright. That's a great page of the quest monster.
I mean, I could imagine. I could imagine if I was reading it in a single issue and I got to that issue where they're talking a lot in the room, I might have been like, what the hell is going on? Like, whoa, what happened last month? But you know, because it's a trade, because it's Netflix. On to the next thing. Let's just keep going.
On to the next thing.
Like,
here,
on
we
to the
can
next
show,
thing, baby.
We can show a little art this way.
Yeah,
that's the better way to do it.
Yeah. So some pretty pictures in this book for sure.
Yeah, it's rad art. Yeah, just have a skeleton King Arthur in there. It's like, keep it coming.
I want more.
I want more.
That scene. That's probably my favorite scene out of the book.
This one?
Yeah.
When he kills all the
when he
kills,
yeah. I thought that was.
Is there Anglo-Saxon
awesome.
as opposed to Celtic?
They're filthy Anglo-Saxon.
Anglo-Saxon.
This dude is old school racist.
Old school, yeah.
Yeah, there's some there is some talky. But then you get some cool shit.
Yeah, and then you get into we're kind of flipping through the sections where I'm like, oh no, we're in this room again.
Yeah, it's I think this first storyline, like Tom was kind of talking about, that now that we have like the baseline to go on, I don't think that Granz is going to have to explain everything moving forward.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I don't know if she'll be around to do it, will she?
Yeah.
She may not.
I don't know.
No spoilers.
Everyone who it's a comic book.
This is true.
Everybody, she could be back at the start of the next trade. Who knows?
I was, the only thing about it that I kind of was like, I'm not smart enough for some of this stuff is he delved into some Arthurian history. I'll be honest, I have tried to read Le Mort d'Arthur, and it's like, no, I'm not.
Watch the movie. Just watch the movie, man.
Which movie?
Just pick one.
Just pick one of them.
Yep, Excalibur, whatever. A Knight's Tale. I don't care.
A Knight's
Not
Tale.
An easy read.
No.
Remember, it's from a time where basically no one could read.
Why did they write so hard? Why did they make it so hard when you couldn't read?
They barely knew how to write. Like, no one knew how to read or write. There's like not a lot of books to read or stories. What are you gonna do?
It's like, maybe if you didn't write it so fucking hard to read, people would read more.
I prefer the King's English.
Yeah,
isn't that the Fassbender one?
Sir Galahad and this blah blah blah. It's like, oh no, my brain's smoothing over and just.
I've started it at least 3 times and have never made it past like a chapter. I don't think
it's kind of like the Similarian.
Yeah, well, that's you're just insane
like,
to read that shit.
Not happening. Yeah, I actually, talking about some of the pacing stuff and the amount of exposition. I actually read this twice because the first time I read it, I was kind of like, It was okay. It didn't completely grab me, and it was probably the time of night I was reading it. And it's, Kieron has
Little
a style,
drunk.
and I stopped. I haven't had a drink in 6 weeks. But I think I think Kieron you have to have an ear for the way that he tells stories, and so I read it a second time and liked it loads more. It once I was just kind of like, yeah, stop being critical of it and just jump into an Arthurian legend monster hunt.
Stop being so
and
American.
Just have fun with it. Yeah,
Stop being so American about it.
Just have fun with it.
At this point, when I start reading something, if there's something I don't understand, I just whatever, and I go on to the next panel, next page. I don't really need to understand.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah,
nobody knows who Sir Galahad is. Nobody cares. Whatever.
Yeah, come on.
Is he the Virgin? I don't know. Whichever one's the Virgin one.
Percy.
Whatever.
Percival.
They'll tell me later.
Oh, that's right. It's because they kind of get into that a little bit, don't they?
They do a little bit.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah.
Fucking nerds.
Yeah, that's a moment where you're like, these characters in a room talking about fucking Knights of the Round Table, and you're like, oh.
Listen, if I wanted to read a book on Knights of the Round Table,
I wanted to read a book, I wouldn't have gone to a comic book store.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Let's get out. It's like, yes, monsters. Yes, Grandma, shoot somebody. Okay, here we go. It's like, yes, I get it.
Enough of this literary history bullshit, Kieron Gillen. Give me.
I know you're British. Is King Arthur is like your Uncle Sam.
We get it. You British are better educated. We understand.
Uncle Sam versus King Arthur.
Uncle Sam versus King Arthur.
Arthur. Yeah.
I like
Uncle
that.
Sam with his powerful legs.
Speaking of that, we have to get back to public domain superheroes next week.
Oh, well, there's no reason we can't do it this week.
King Arthur versus Uncle Sam. Would that work?
Sure. They're both.
Well,
Uncle Sam might be copyrighted by the U.S. government.
It probably depends on what superpowers your Uncle Sam has.
Oh. Well,
I'm
or
just
what do
trying
you
to
wear?
think of the legality.
Yeah. Wasn't Uncle Sam in Freedom Fighters?
Yes, of course he was.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great segue to mention our Patreon. If you would like to listen to Tom Versus, that is available as a patron, which you can find out more at patreon.com/around comics. And
I recorded a new one, bitches.
I have not put it up, but
yeah, hasn't put it up yet.
Yeah, it's what?
Good thing it's about a comic book from 1979. Doesn't matter when you put it
not
up.
Timely. It's not time sensitive.
There's no reason to race.
Yeah.
There's no race to get it up.
Yeah, which speaking of time sensitive, we've been doing K-Billy Super Sounds, which is me and Sal and our good buddy Will Pfeiffer talking about all of the films of Quentin Tarantino, which we just finished Inglourious Bastards this week. So we have 3 films left, and yeah, we're gonna see about maybe making those available as we get into the next one.
I think Uncle Sam's favorite Quentin Tarantino film, Inglourious Bastards, where we kill the Nazis.
Yeah.
Business
is good.
We're not in the people. What is it? Prisoner
yeah.
We're not in the prisoner taking business. We're in the Nazi killing business. Brother, business is a booming.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, on Earth X, they couldn't beat the Nazis.
Uncle
Sam. I mean, these guys suck. They're not great.
Did you know Uncle Sam was created by Will Eisner?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I mean,
the comic book character.
Oh, okay. I was trying to think back.
Did you know that Will Eisner drew the Constitution? Illustrated Constitution.
Everybody talks about Stan Lee taking credit for everything, but Will Eisner, he drew Uncle Sam. He created the graphic novel. Really? I mean, I don't know. I think he's.
I'll say claiming Uncle Sam is a bit much because it's like Uncle Sam, his powers are just like he's strong ish, I guess. I don't know.
Like
he
Farmer
doesn't, he
Strong?
literally has no other he has literally no other powers.
He punches things.
He looks
He
like
embodies the spirit of America.
Yeah.
yes. The Uncle Sam in the comic always, I feel like, looks more like Abraham Lincoln.
Because
He
of the
did-
top hat.
He's like,
Yeah, not just the
Yeah.
top of it, but just like he's long, he's lean and long and
Yeah.
sort of gangly, but he
Yeah.
has sort of a farmer muscle to him. I picture Abraham Lincoln having
Farmer
he's got
muscle.
like
Farmer muscles.
Hulk. He's got like the Hulk thing where he can jump great distances, which is
Ooh.
like flying for the purposes of whatever story you're telling. Of course, the
How
Hulk
far can he
get
jump?
there. He can
Yeah,
jump
as far as you need him to.
as far as you need him to.
All right. Well, since we're talking about knights and King Arthur, I have 4 public domain Black Knights.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
So we have the Dell Comics Black Knight, the MLJ Black Knight, the Sterling Black Knight, or
Jesus
the Toby
Christ.
Black Knight. Which one would you guys like to hear about?
Well, we have to make a super team of 4 Black Knights.
4 Black Knights, all Black
four of
Knights.
the black, all
Yeah,
4 of the black,
and they're
Knights.
called the Black Knights.
The Black Knights. Sort of like the Lone Ranger.
Oh, I picked a guy last week that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that? Tell us.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up to make sure it wasn't a fever dream. Yes. Speed Centaur.
That's terrific.
Speed's powers included flight and being approximately 8 times stronger than a normal human.
Ooh, 8 times.
Okay.
Plus, he's like a centaur.
Is he actually a centaur?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speed
Kind of burying the lead
Centaur.
there in the powers.
Speed Centaur is a member of a race of centaurs that lived in the Arctic until an earthquake hit. Everyone except Speed died. He was discovered and brought to America by a reporter. After Speed reached adulthood, he decided to fight crime. Yeah, of course. Makes sense. He could also run as fast as a horse since he is a centaur.
Well, why is he called Speed Centaur if he's only as fast as a horse? I thought he would be faster.
I would be like the Flash, right?
Yeah,
like
right?
Faster centaur.
Or at least like cheetah fast.
I mean, he appeared in Amazing Mystery Funnies, Volume 2, number 8 through 24.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a lot.
8 through 24?
Yeah.
That's a lot of centaur.
That's a lot.
I mean, probably they're like 3-page stories though, because they're probably like one of those like sandwich between like a Daffy Duck ripoff and like
so the other book that he was in is Wham Comics #1, and I looked that up. It's by Centaur Publishing.
Wait a second.
Somebody's really into Centaur.
This is going to
Wham
a dark place.
Hey, listen, here's what we're gonna do, baby.
I gotta find out.
I'm looking at the cover. Here we go.
It's all
we got
Centaur.
Wham Comics. Read about Craig Carter and his magic ring, the Sparkler and his disappearing suit, Two-Fisted Copper Slug, Speed Centaur, Detecto, and others.
Centaur Comics. Interesting. I want to know more about Centaur Publishing.
It sounds like the canon films of
Oh, yeah, I'm looking
comics.
because this is a public domain comic. I'm looking at Craig Carter right off the bat. Yet another here the amount of Captain Marvel ripoffs, Shazam ripoffs, just
They were all,
amazing.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, like first page, I'm like, this guy in his magic ring, obviously just a huge ripoff of let me see if I can share my
Who's Two-Fisted
Copper
Copper Slug? I can't find any information on Centaur Comics.
the internet is failing.
Yeah, there's
The
nothing.
internet had information on everything.
Speed takes Real to see the ruined city of his people, but they are captured by hostile humans who have taken up residence there. Featuring Detecto.
Here's Craig Carter.
I love that these guys it just did. There was no sense to any of it. It didn't matter.
I want to know more about the disappearing suit guy.
Can you guys see my my page?
Oh, here, I got it.
Craig Carter in the magic ring.
Hold on. There we go.
All right.
It's like
Nice.
rip off.
Oh,
right
the
off the
lightning
bat.
bolts.
Yeah, just
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah.
Yep. And that
Greek
collection
gods.
of gods. Yeah.
Your classic collection, your Zeus, your Mercury, your caveman, your got long blonde-haired guy in the back middle, Jesus to the right.
I think that's Hercules. I think that caveman is Hercules.
Hercules.
Jesus.
Okay, they gave him a club. Which
He had a
Alright.
club. I think Hercules.
did Hercules have a club? Okay,
I
let's
think he did. I think he had a club. I think it's Hercules, but the fact
we're
that
just reading.
he,
Now we're
that
just
he looks
reading
like a
comics online.
caveman.
What year is this?
He's got a Pegasus, man.
This is published in 1940, November of 1940.
Wow. Okay.
Yep,
them's old-timey comics.
Characters. Let's see. The Stamp album.
The Sparkler.
Yeah, who is that guy? The
I love
Sparkler
that- I love
stops.
that these are still fun to. I don't think that. Oh my God, was that Doc Manhattan? I don't think that you could pay me to actually spend a ton of time with these, but they are fun to go back and look at.
Just the names. I just love that. It's just like the Sparkler, Detecto,
The guy can draw a dog pretty well.
the Copper Slug, the two-fisted Copper Slug.
Not so good at people sometimes here.
Yeah, that's better at dogs than people.
Sock 'em. Stop thief. Oh, here's Copper Slug. He's just a dude who like punches people.
Oh, wow, that's
Like,
he's like
I
a
love-
Dick Tracy ripoff. He looks
Yeah,
like.
I love the no background. It's like, hey, long before John Byrne and Alpha Flight, right?
I saw you take something out of that coat. Wait, what is it to you? You better put it back. Make me put it back. Okay, I will. And then just like punches him. Hell yeah, man.
That's how we dealt with things in the 40s.
That's how we do.
God damn it.
When men
God
were
damn
men.
it. Punching people. Okay, I gotta stop doing this. Okay.
Yep.
It's
all
a
right,
rabbit hole.
publishing, guys.
I mean, this whole public domain is a rabbit hole for sure.
It is.
Like
It is.
it's pretty awesome. I love that we've kind of gravitated towards this every week because it's just hilarious.
So Once in Future.
Once in Future, back to
Future.
boring modern day comics.
I
Once
figure
in
we can wrap
Future.
up and then maybe talk about a couple comics here this week that as you were. I think we can all probably talk about Rogues or something like that. But yeah.
Yes.
So in the end, we liked Once in Future. Pretty cool.
I enjoyed it. I want to read the next. There's like 5 volumes of it now, so I want to check out the next one for sure.
Yes, agreed. And shout out to Hoopla again, just making this way easy.
They're the shit. Hoopla, you are the shit.
I was using
Hoopla, hoopla, hoopla.
Which yeah, I can let you know the next one, the next Trade Talks.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
What is it?
It is something that
The Sparkler.
We're-
Volume one.
Sparkler.
this is
Collected-
all
the
this is
collected
almost
Sparkler.
old timey comics, going back almost 40 years. It's a comic that we're all aware of. I think all have an appreciation of, have probably read a little bit here and there, but we've never really talked much about Usagi Yojimbo.
Oh.
And so it's the first volume, Usagi Yojimbo, Book 1, The Ronin.
So is this the original run? Or
This is 1984.
Oh, wow. We're going back.
Is it? Let me see here. Is it 8? Yeah, I think it's. What's the first year? I'm sorry, 87. So 1987.
All right.
Yeah.
Got some
all right.
Samurai Rabbit. Samurai.
on.
Rascally Rabbit. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
because
different.
that's I've read some Usagi, from time to time and pick it up. I always enjoy it. He's a fantastic cartoonist, and yeah, we've just never really talked about the series,
Yeah.
and it's going on. It's been around for a long time, man.
Brett Harris is pumped for it. He says, "Oh yeah, that's some awesome stuff."
Oh yeah,
So there we go. Oh yeah, man. Are you
man.
is that Art
Art's non de plume.
Balthazar's fake screen name? Brett Harris? Art would pick a name like Brett Harris to be his fake online name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the name of a detective I've used to read in comics when I was growing up.
Brett.
Ah,
The
Sounds like a
two-fisted.
detective name. That's a good hard-boiled detective name. Brett Harris.
Brett Harris.
Copper Slug.
Brett Harris is on the case.
Brett Harris is the alter ego of the
Copper
two-fisted
Slug.
Copper Slug.
That's right. No, I think his name was like Reed something or Red Mandel or something.
Public domain. This is his grandson.
This is Brett Harris. So some of the other books that have been published by Centaur Publishing: Amazing Adventure Funnies, Amazing Man Comics, Amazing Mystery Funnies, The
They had a
Arrow.
theme. They had a theme.
They have a theme. CMO Comics. I don't know what does that stand for? CMO.
Chief Marketing Officer.
Comic Pages. That seems kind of on the nose. Funny Pages, Comics Magazine, Detective Eye, Detective Picture Stories,
Yeah.
Phantoman, Funny Pages, Funny Picture Stories, Keen Detective Funnies, Liberty Scouts, Man of War, Masked Marvel, Model Fun. Model Fun? What? Yeah, it's a book about
That's some insight into exactly
Guys,
how
it was
many
headquartered in
freaking
Chicago,
comics-
Illinois.
what?
Was it really?
Where was the headquarters of fucking
it's
Centaur
published monthly by
Comics.
Centaur Publications, 221 East 20th Street, Chicago, Illinois. The
220?
editorial offices were in New York, though.
Oh,
Interesting.
East
yeah.
20th Street. That's
Where's that?
That's Pilsen. It's Pilsen,
Well,
right?
look at that.
Isn't that about Pilsen?
Interesting.
18th Street.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
don't
around
know.
Chicago.
I don't remember. I don't drive into the city anymore.
But yeah, that's
Too
how many
dangerous.
comics were being published at that point. Oh my god, I have to find pictures of the newsstands from
I mean,
the
it was
40s.
just get stuff out. They'll buy it. They're gonna buy whatever you put out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, just
Where's
have
our
amazing
Captain
and
Marvel?
funnies. Yeah, comics, funnies, anything that you could throw in the title.
They had Star
Where's
Ranger,
that?
Star Ranger Funnies, Stars and Stripes.
Get it out, baby. What are we waiting for?
Somebody likes
An
that Star Ranger.
invitation?
Do another Star Ranger book.
Kid, you can draw. Get in here. Roll up your sleeves. Not good enough to make
You're
an
ready.
advertising. Boy, I got a desk for you.
You waiting for an invitation?
Oh, thanks,
Put in
mister.
Super Spy.
What do you think that, like a career, like a guy that was working for Western Picture Stories, what was he pulling in a month?
Enough to buy the alcohol that he drank himself to death with.
Oh, wow, that's dark, Chris.
Oh, wow.
Man,
I know the Wally Wood story. Come on.
Their first issue, they put out a comic called Stars and Stripes comic #2. It features like their version of the Avengers or the Invaders. This includes Mighty Man, the Shark, Amazing Man, Mini Midget,
I'd read that.
Iron Skull.
Wait a minute.
Redundant.
Isn't that redundant? Mini
Redundant,
midget?
but
Like,
alliterative.
wait,
And then a guy named Reef Kincaid. Which when I first saw the cover, I thought it said Beef Kincaid, which I think would be a better
Reef
it's a better
Kincaid.
name.
What
Beef
is-
Kincaid.
What is Reef Kincaid's powers? Whiteness? Like what?
I'm Reef
trust
Kincaid.
fund.
Remember, Stars and Stripes, baby.
Blonde hair and a trust fund and a square jaw. That's Reef Kincaid's superpowers.
Brief Kincaid is a daring adventurer and soldier of fortune.
Of course.
Okay, cool.
I do like beef Kincaid though. That's delicious.
Beef
I've
Kincaid
had that.
would be a better.
I served that at my wedding. Beef Kincaid.
This is my partner, Beef Kincaid.
Wayne says Reef is a surfer dude. Yeah, that's a nice pun. That's punny. That's punny, Wayne.
Funny. Beef Kincaid.
Beef Kincaid. The magnet, the billionaire slaughterhouse magnate.
Mhm.
Beef Kincaid. What should we name our son? Beef. He comes from beef.
He comes from beef. He's a beef boy.
There
He's a
are
beef
people out
man.
there that have done that. I'll guarantee it.
Beef Kincaid. Is anyone named Beef? Is there people? Is there a human being on the planet named Beef?
Big world,
Beef?
man. It's a big world.
It's a big world.
I stopped. Truth is stranger than fiction. I stopped questioning things like that. That's what the internet. If the internet has taught us nothing, it has taught us that there is always someone out there that's more obsessed with a niche interest than you.
This is true.
Yeah. There's somebody out there who loves Beef Kincaid.
Are you going to talk about The Ghost in You? Or are you just teasing us?
Did you read it?
I'm about 20 pages in.
Oh, then I don't want to talk
I want
about
to
it.
savor it. I want to savor it. Let's talk about Rogues.
He reads a page a day.
A page a day.
And then you just close it and you're just like,
That was good.
That was a good page.
Delish.
Do I dare give myself a second page? Oh, wait.
He's like tantric. He's a tantric.
Holding it in until the last page, and
then exploding with joy.
And there's an
It takes me
explosion
over half
of
a year to read
exaltation.
a reckless comic.
I have not read this yet.
Oh, you haven't read?
No. I just picked it up.
Let's not talk. Well, then let's not talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. What have we read? What have we read?
Kincaid.
Did anybody read the Justice League 75, the death of the Justice League?
I didn't.
Oh, it was pretty
But I'm
good.
not going to. Was it?
I actually kind of enjoyed it. Yeah, it's another crisis
No.
event.
Another is it called something crisis?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know.
Of course it is.
Crisis.
Yeah. But it has Pariah in it.
Oh, well, then you know it's for real.
It's a real crisis. Yeah.
It's a real crisis.
None of those fake crises.
Right. Crises.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Crises. This is real.
It was pretty good though. I did enjoy it. I did like it.
Batman Beyond, White Knight.
I did not read that either.
It's good. Guess what? It's good.
I just haven't gotten to it yet. I had to
Sean
read
pointy noses.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, big
I think
cliffhanger
so.
at the end.
Yeah.
Get in there. Big cliffhanger.
In a comic book?
I know, right?
A cliffhanger?
A cliffhanger where you're like,
I would have read more comics this week, but I was busy watching season 1 and 2 of Barry so that I could watch
To catch us, so you could watch season 3
Yeah.
and remember what happened.
I don't think I appreciated Henry Winkler as much as I should have initially when I watched that show. Not that I didn't appreciate him, but the level of appreciation the second time around was terrific, tremendous.
Your level of respect for the man who's given us so much,
The Fonz.
from the Fonz, Arrested Development, as the lawyer.
The family lawyer.
yeah, I think I'm going to try and watch French Dispatch this weekend, which he's in. You like the Wes Anderson film?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to watch the Batman this weekend.
Ooh, you got 3 hours to spare, huh?
No, I'm going to split it up.
2 helpings, 3
It'll be
helpings.
like me reading a Brubaker comic. Just like five
savoring
minutes
it,
at a
just
time.
Every
Savor it.
scene, every location change. I'm like,
I've watched the Batman twice.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it in theaters, and then I watched it when it came out on HBO Max as well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
HBO
it.
is killing it. You got to watch Made for Love, so we can talk about it on ACTV.
All right.
Second season. They have 2 episodes for the second season just came out, and they're awesome.
All right, fine. I'll watch it.
They're a half hour.
Final to it.
I have been reading or watching the Flight Attendant with Kaylee Cuoco.
However you pronounce her name.
That show is bananas.
I didn't really like it initially, but it grew on me as it went on. And she is pretty funny. She is pretty, and she's pretty funny. But her acting consists 70% of her acting consists of her making strange facial things with her mouth. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of it. Yeah.
So there you go. More of that on ACTV.
That's right.
We're going to talk about Moon Knight.
Stands for Around Comics Television.
Yeah, very good, Tom.
If you don't know what it's.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about
some
Moon Knight.
We're
going to be all done with the Moon Knight.
The kids don't know what TV stands for.
Yeah, Around Comics on Demand. Streaming.
So you talked about Quentin Tarantino. So we're gonna, once we're done with that, I think we're gonna pick another director and do all their films. But I think we're gonna do it maybe outside of Around Comics or as a separate standalone thing. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Which means A, if you're listening to this, you'll have access to it, and B, we have to come up with another Patreon exclusive thing to take its place.
Oh
We'll
my God, you guys
work
make
on
it
that.
so hard. You make it so hard on yourself.
They could get early access to it, maybe.
Oh, there you go. Maybe early. And I think we're going to dump the entire Tarantino K-Billy Super Sounds podcast as well.
On the regular feed.
Yep. So you'll have access to the whole year.
What if you guys post, just like the good versions for Patreon, like good episodes? You get to the end, and you're like, is this a good one or a bad one? And then that's how you.
Who makes that decision?
Yeah.
Who, it's like what was that?
Throw it in the chum bucket. Just toss it out there. That's a freebie.
It's like Sophie's Choice, Tom. They're all
great.
They're all
gold.
equally
They're all
mediocre.
They're all gold. Throw that one. Just toss it in the toss.
I'm excited about either director that we choose to move on to.
Who? Michael Bay.
Michael Bay is first
one of the two options. Michael Bay or
then, Snyder, Zack Snyder.
Snyder.
Michael Bay, Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
We were going to go with Ridley Scott, but we decided to go with Tony Scott.
Oh, well, you say that like
cool.
That's a bad thing. Tony Scott's awesome. How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you, sir?
Don't dislike Tony Scott.
You should love Tony.
Yeah, yeah, you don't need the heat of doing like a Zack Snyder based podcast.
No,
you don't need to attract that sort of attention.
I'm sure there's a few out there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Would be my guess on both sides of that fence.
No, I think well, I don't know. Do you want to say what we're going to do
sure,
now?
Sure.
I think we're going to do the Coen brothers.
Oh, that's a great choice.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to try and keep it within a year. So we may just do the first 12.
Why? There's like, how many is there?
20. I think they've made 18.
Whatever.
Dude, I was looking at the date.
We could skip a few.
Blood Simple is 38 years old this year.
They've
been making movies for almost 40 years.
Well, then how
long are your episodes? How long are the episodes?
Anywhere from hour and a half. But I have a hard rule that the episode never goes longer than the actual runtime of the film.
Yeah, of course it shouldn't.
So yeah,
which is gonna be really difficult for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood will be a multi-part episode.
Maybe
there's rabbit holes.
I may be exhausted by then of talking about Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, you get that. You might just be like, "What? Just watch the movie."
Yeah.
Just watch. Why are you listening to me talking?
Why are you listening to me talking about the movie?
Watch the
guy. Get too much time. Too much time on your hands. Think about what you're doing with your life.
Are you really that bored?
Yeah,
Maybe you should get a hobby. And I don't mean listening to podcasts. That's not a hobby.
It's like the David Lynch thing where he doesn't put extras, no deleted scenes, no chapters on DVDs. You just gotta watch it. And
Who is that?
Like David Lynch.
He's terrible. He also makes fucking movies that no one understands and are just ridiculous silliness that people read into. Come on.
You should do David Lynch. You should make yourself watch Mulholland Drive.
I love Mulholland Drive for 3/4 of it, and then it turns into a piece of shit. For 3/4, it's a terrific noir film.
Mm-hmm. And when you guys do Werner Herzog, I'll be on.
I would do Werner Herzog. I mean, that's
you have to watch a lot of like pretty
documentaries.
A lot of pretty dark movie. Like I don't know if you guys want to sit and watch Fitzcarraldo or like Aguirre, Wrath of Death. Those movies are pretty.
They're amazing.
Has he made anything that's not fucking serious and dark?
No, that's his jam.
Oh, Bad Lieutenant. I mean, that movie is ridiculous. That movie is ridiculous.
When Bad Lieutenant is your feel good movie,
it's not feel good, but it's like nuts. It's not a serious movie.
No,
it's like not. It's obviously a pure lunacy. Just like set Nicolas Cage, just like go insane mode. It's just like
we could do Nicolas Cage. Maybe we at some point we just do actors. Just do
Nicolas
Cage. That'd be
do the whole Nicolas Cage.
We're trying to keep this kind of highbrow. You know, we would.
Why?
I know.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. Highbrow.
Why are you keeping it highbrow?
First of all, Quentin Tarantino's not highbrow.
Yeah. Highbrow.
Oh, Sal left.
Oh, sip your he got angry. Sip your cappuccino.
That comment drove him off the show. He'll be back in a sec.
There's 0% chance I'm coming.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
You should do Michael Bay. Make yourself watch a bunch of Michael.
We'll do Russ Meyer at some point.
Be fun. Like doing a Michael Bay one, I think would actually end up being kind of fun.
I mean, there's definitely movies of Michael Bay's that I've enjoyed, and I would probably enjoy watching them over again.
Never underestimate Tom's love of Bad Boys 2.
Oh, it's such a wild movie. And every time you see Michael Bay talk, you're just like, yeah,
you made that.
So it's just like, he's like, you know, he's just like, I saw a clip of him talking about whatever movie he just made, I think Ambulance or whatever. And he's talking about how he got like a drone pilot from like some drone racing thing.
It's impressive. I mean, there are some shots in there that are pretty amazing. I will say that.
It's like, I feel like Michael Bay, there will be a point in the next couple of years where it's going to be the same journey that like people like Nicolas Cage go through when people are like, Nicolas Cage just like overacts in movies. And like, but if you stay around long enough, eventually people are like, I like Nicolas Cage, you know,
people like, finally admit it's okay to admit it. It's okay to finally admit
eventually get around to like,
Michael Bay, come on, he's fun.
Whatever.
He's fun.
He's all right. He's fine.
I will say I watched Ambulance because I'm a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan, and I tweeted this after watching it. I said something along the lines of, you know, there are writers out there. I think most writers probably, you know, really agonize over trying to craft every word, and they start out with their first draft and they know it's garbage and they work it over and over again, and they spend countless hours trying to massage it into something that sort of resembles a story. Yeah. And then there's Michael Bay, who just takes a first draft, grabs 147 cameras and makes a movie.
Just go, baby.
Like, who gives a shit?
We're making The Rock. Let's do it. Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. Let's go.
I love that movie.
The Rock?
I love
Oh, sure.
that movie.
I love Armageddon. I've watched Armageddon at least 7 times for sure. I've watched that movie. No, I'll make fun of Michael Bay to a certain degree, but I can't deny the fact that I've watched all of his movies, probably.
Yeah. Tony Scott, we mentioned him. Tony Scott's the same way for me.
No, Tony Scott's way more awesome than Michael Bay, though. Way more.
Top Gun or Days of Fury.
Days of Fury.
That's Tony Scott, right?
I don't know what
The NASCAR one with Tom Cruise and Duvall.
Days of Thunder, motherfucker.
Sorry, Days of Thunder. Sorry.
God damn it, get it right. Yeah, Days of Thunder is a phenomenal movie. I don't know if that's actually. I think that's Michael Bay.
No, he did Days of Thunder.
Does he do Days of Thunder?
Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2. Days of Thunder, The Last Boy Scout, True Romance.
The Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout and True Romance. Yeah, these are all movies I enjoy.
Yeah.
The Fan.
Enemy of the State.
Enemy of the State. Spy Game. Man on Fire. Domino.
Enemy of the State. Wasn't that a possible
sequel to The Conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense that that's the same character. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I think it's unofficially Man on Fire is a fucking awesome movie. Man on Fire is
my favorite Denzel Washington movie.
Unstoppable. It's good. The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, the remake. Not as good as the first one, but the original.
Yeah. Moment of appreciation for Tony Scott.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The Fan.
The Scott Brothers.
Ridley is certainly the more serious of the two.
Yeah.
Or, was.
Probably more like critically acclaimed, I guess you would say.
Yeah. 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 Yep. But
I made the music video for Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins, obviously.
Oh, Kenny Loggins. All right. I think that will wrap us up for this here episode. Want to thank you, Balls of Fury, nice. Thank you for listening. If you went out and picked up Once in the Future Volume 1, want to thank you for that. Thanks for that comic. It was good. We enjoyed it.
How long before Joe Galuzik says Tom's analogy breaks down with Steven Seagal? How long before we appreciate Steven Seagal?
He went too far. It's like we're going all the way back around.
Irredeemable. He's irredeemable.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think he's in that zone now where it's like everybody loves Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Hey. Chuck Norris before that. I mean, Chuck Norris was kind of washed up, and then Chuck Norris is,
Whoa.
Oh, come on.
Chuck Norris. But Chuck Norris, I don't know that it was ever, as an actor, but I think as a man,
an icon. He
was always legend.
Yeah, he's an icon. Yeah, Betty White.
See, I never got the Betty White thing.
Right?
Like, what the fuck did Betty White do?
It kind of became a thing.
Yeah, I know.
The sports analogy would be like the San Antonio Spurs coach, Greg Popovich, who's like sort of surly, and now he's sort of beloved because he's just been around for so long. Everyone's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's just Pop being Pop.
That's him. Yeah, you stick around unless you're Steven Seagal, and then there's nothing you can do.
All right.
So Sal's back, but we're gonna wrap things up. Everyone, thank you for listening. Check out new Tom Versus drops this weekend. Sal and I will be back with ACTV this week. If you haven't checked out our talk on Inglorious Bastards, you can look at or listen to that as the K Billy Super Sounds episode. And watch. You want to get set for the next one. Check out Django Unchained. That's our next movie. And fun. All sorts of good stuff.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh my God. What?
We had a new patron.
Oh, great.
Oh.
Damn it.
So this message is just for you to catch you up on everything.
Hold on. I got to look it up.
Hold on.
All right, Tom, you liking the Bucks? Looking good. They're not going to have Middleton for the Boston series.
No, they already won a championship, so it's all It's
Oh,
hard
got
to
to go for
repeat.
that repeat, baby.
Yeah, it's hard to do that.
It is hard. Boston's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Fuck the Bucks. Sorry.
Bulls were just hurt. Bulls will be good next year.
Yeah, it would have been a much better match if they were healthy.
Yeah. Is
I'm not
Donovan a
think-
good coach? You liking Donovan? I just hated that guy at Florida.
Hard to say. I mean, dude, there was such a roller coaster of a season. They were fucking unbelievable when they were healthy. How could I, but I don't know how much that had to do with the coaching. I think it had more to do with, honestly, what's his name? Ball and DeRozan just playing out of his goddamn mind.
DeRozan.
I don't think anyone could have guessed the chemistry between DeRozan, Levine, and Ball. I don't think that was really something people expected, and they were phenomenal together. But Ball never stays healthy, and that's been his problem his whole career. So can he ever fucking stay healthy a full season? Thank you, Patricio, for becoming a patron.
Patricio!
Yay! Thank you for being a patron of Around Comics. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you enjoy the benefits therein of said patronage.
And we appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's keep the lights on.
That it does.
There you go. All right. So thank you. Appreciate the listen. We'll be back next Thursday for another action-packed, fun-filled, Arthurian legendless episode of Around Comics.
And
In the meantime,
when we do the Michael Bay retrospective, I will sing the Aerosmith song from Armageddon.
You have to.
For all of your listening pleasure. As an added the rock ballad.
it is a good rock ballad.
I mean, as good as they get,
Yeah.
So there, I'll throw that in. I will do a private karaoke version
For the next patron.
There you go.
The next
There you
patron
go.
that signs up, you get Sal's Serenade sent to you via Dropbox link.
Not Janie's Crying. What the hell's the name? I can't even think of the name of the song. I can think of the lyrics, but I can't think of the name of the song.
Don't
close your
eyes.
Because I miss you, babe, and I don't want to miss a thing.
Okay, there's a taste.
Just a little taste. I'm not warmed up,
A little taste.
Well,
taste.
in the meantime,
In between time,
we'll be everywhere in
hand around comics.
Michael Bay films. I'm gonna go watch Bad Boys 2.
Tony Scott.
Bay.
Michael Bay can't carry Tony Scott's jock. I assume directors wear jocks, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere.